Okay, so today I want to go over an interesting topic about the three misconceptions of baby making over in history. Now, we have been on this planet for more than 1,000,000 years, and you would think even adults back then would know where babies come from. Well, clearly not. The these well, Fun fact: Aristotle and Leonardo da Vinci both thought that breast milk was made from brain semen and cooked menstrual blood. Now, I could not find this exact quote anywhere, but according to this little diagram right here, the nipple is attached to the uterus, so that kind of helps the cooked menstrual blood. But I don't know anything about this whole brain semen thing. And something else, what Leonardo and Aristotle did not know, they didn't know anything about anatomy, and this diagram pretty much proves it. Because look at this stomach, it's like all in twisty and twirls and whatever. And Leonardo thought that there was a big sac behind the the male member, the male appendage, that created the semen and went into the testicles when it was ready to be dispersed. So that's just how much they didn't know. So this drove scientists to the question, what does the inside of a human look like? So during the 1600s, 1500s, 1500s, there was a lot of grave robbing going on. People would bribe executioners because scientists were paying top dollar for bodies and all that. And they were even willing to kill family members and friends. And when the scientists got the hold of their bodies, they were pretty squeamish. Like, you wouldn't want to open up a body, one of your own. But this didn't bother Andreas Vesalius, also known as the father of modern anatomy. He wrote a book called On the Fabric of the Human Body. On the Fabric of the Human Body was the name. And yeah, he found all the organs and the bones, the dynamics of the human body and all that. But he missed something. He missed the female egg, the millennium egg, which you can't blame him. It's like 0.1 millimeters small. So, but then there was this one guy, William Harvey. He thought, when I was looking this up, I was like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? That's what this kind of reminded me of. He thought everything came from an egg. He figured the egg came first. So he tried to find it, but because at this time the microscope didn't exist, he didn't find the egg. So the first misconception, women became pregnant by contagion, which means, like the Black Plague, if she was around semen, she would get pregnant. So after William Harvey died, Rene de Graaf graduated in 1665, and then in 1667, he developed a clinic. He had a practice medical clinic, and couldn't find when he found the egg, but I know it was in between this time because he died in 73. But he found the egg, and to back this up, he was doing studies on the ovulation and all that, and he found the egg in the Graphian follicles, which was named after him, found on the Britannica research website. And in his counterpart, we have Antony van Leeuwenhoek. There's also another name for him, but I couldn't really find it, but it was called the champion of the sperm. That's his other name. But he's also the father of microbiology. He discovered bacteria and all that, but he found sperm after a night of lovemaking with his wife. Anyways, after these two things were found, we had there was a lot of people that were like, what's both of their purposes? Well, the ovists thought that the egg was the embryo and the sperm was an activation. And spermists, being simple-minded, male, forgot the word for that, but they thought that the sperm was the embryo and the egg was just nutrition to help the egg grow. And this brings us to our second misconception brought up by the church, because the church didn't want people to know that they could create life because only God could create life. But this was debunked during the Enlightenment, when people thought that the two-sperm theory existed, in which there were two sperms, which the egg was the female sperm, and, then they would mate, and then they would create a human. And then there was the frog experiment, where, he tried to debunked that women could not become pregnant by contagion, and he made, little boxers for the frogs and made it and all that. He did a lot of stuff with the frog eggs. But then, the true answer, to finish all of this all up, Oscar Hertwig did an experiment with urchin eggs to see how the whole process with conception actually worked, in which he saw that the egg and the sperm both fused together. And that's how we have, and then it just goes on from there. We learned everything. And there you go. And the end.